After a full 12 months of dealing with COVID-19 and after losing more than 10,000 Alabamians to the virus, we finally are seeing more reason for optimism. Through it all, we counted on the physicians at University Medical Center to answer our questions from the very beginning of the pandemic to the accelerated vaccine effort taking place now. Today, Mike Royer talked with the medical center's chief medical officer, Dr. Tom Weida, about this challenging year.
It was almost exactly a year ago that we called on Dr. Tom Weida at UMC and the other doctors there to talk about this thing we knew nothing about. Doctors didn't know much about it then a year ago, did they?
We did not know much about this COVID that we mentioned.
Yeah, and so you've dealt with it for a year, and do you want to share the same answer you gave me off camera when I said, what's this year been like?
It's been hell.
I know it has been, because you want to care for patients, and usually they come to you with things, you go, oh, I know what this is, I know how to deal with it. Learning curve for all physicians all around the world.
Exactly. When we first started, we didn't know how to treat it. We didn't even probably know how to accurately diagnose it. The tests, we weren't sure how they worked. We then had to close our offices, so we had to go over to an entirely different way of treating patients, which with telemedicine. And then it just kept going from there, where we had more and more cases, we've had surges, and then fortunately, things are starting to get better. Politicians
may want to take credit for ramping up and getting things done, but the medical researchers, the medical community, really smart folks like you and other physicians got this vaccine to people around the world in record time, and that's to celebrate that.
Right. Getting it out in a year is great. They're ramping up. It shows the way that we can produce vaccine fairly quickly in this country and actually internationally. And it's through basic science research. That didn't happen overnight, it just didn't happen really in a year. All that basic science research that happened for 10 years allowed us to be able to turn the switch and get something out the door in a year.
And finally, at this point, this year, going forward, you're optimistic that we're on the right track, that we're seeing that bright light at the end of the tunnel.
And it's not the oncoming train.
That's right.
And so, yes, we're seeing that bright light. We're vaccinating people. We're getting herd immunity. The hope is that everybody who wants vaccine, I hope it's everybody wants vaccine, gets vaccinated. Doesn't matter which one. They're all going to be effective in keeping you out of the hospital and keeping you from dying from this.
I hope you know we appreciate you and your staff. Thank you, Dr. Tom Weida.
Well, thank you very much for having us.